And we're live. Say hello, Eggy.
Hello.
All right, it's all working. It's all working. OBS is working. Yay!
Should I start my stream too?
Yeah, mate. You might want to start yours. Sorry.
Or switch screens. We're live, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah. That's what I did. I just switched scenes and went right. Welcome everyone to the Flippin' Spuds and the ECA Australia and all decked out tonight. Working wonderful as per normal. So hopefully we've got some people on. Sorry, everyone, we're a few minutes late. We were nattering, yakking away, and then I went, shit. I went, hey, Eggy, we're meant to be on. But, yeah, we've got a bit of an action-packed show for you guys today. Hopefully sharing some knowledge, sharing some tech news, and going from there. But, mate, first question, how the hell are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Cannot complain, brother. Cannot complain. We've got some freedom in lovely Melbourne. We've had some decent weather. It hasn't been too bad. Today was quite warm in the study. But, it's actually even still quite warm. I've got the ceiling fan on. Hopefully that's not playing in the background.
No, I can't hear it.
Can't hear it. Beauty. That's what we want. Blue Yeti doing its thing. Love it. Love it. So what's the week been like for you, mate? You've been up to much?
Not a whole lot. I want to give Ava a quick shout out. My daughter, she's been on TikTok and she's sort of kicked off this week, where she's got a video where she's playing Roblox and it's got 60,000 views, and I think she's got up to 2,500 followers now.
Yeah, I saw that the other day, mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just playing Roblox. So yeah, kicking off. She's overtaken her dad in the content creation sort of part. And
kicked your ass, mate. Kicked your ass.
she goes live on TikTok playing Roblox. She gets an average of 100 viewers. So that's pretty good.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. That's not bad at all.
Better start her up on Twitch,
I reckon she could bloody partner. Forget, not this affiliate shit. She's partnering, baby. She's hey, Nick Merckx, watch out.
But what I found out is you got to apply to be able to stream to TikTok from a PC. So what she's had to do, she's got the PC up and she's got her iPad going live, videoing her PC. So I've applied to get, because the Streamlabs just doesn't get the stream key where they can't just stream on it straight away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they don't give it to you, so you got to apply for it. So we've asked for them, so we just got to play the waiting game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, far out. Better not, bloody hell, Gabe better not hear about this because it's on for young and old then. And
yeah,
we just did a whole cybersecurity thing at school, and yeah, I'm not overly keen on letting him loose on there. Just
yep.
But you know what? Ava's enjoying it as long as it's all safe and monitored, mate, by you and your wife. I think it'll be fine. But
yeah, we're both on it. Like I'm logged into her account now, so I can go in and have a look and see who's messaging her and what they're saying. And
oh well, there you go, mate. That's brilliant. That's all right. But yeah, Gabe's got all sorts of. He's got a heap. I've got a heap of content there for him. I could literally just if I edited some of the stuff and uploaded it.
That's the hardest part is editing it, though, isn't it?
Oh, I can't even edit my own videos, mate. You know, he's too busy to even do that. So
I don't know if it's because we're too picky and we play with it for too long, but I think it's like an average video editing. It takes about 4 to 6 hours when I'm trying to make a video.
Oh, really?
Well, that's why I just go. Well, that bit doesn't start. I cut that little bit out, move this little bit, and I'm like, oh, now the sound's out. I don't know. Play with it too much.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Let's kick off with our first topic, our favourite topic. I don't know about favourite, but one of the more interesting topics going around at the moment is Windows 11. As I mentioned last week's show, I did try and I did install it on a 500 gig NVMe. It's actually on this PC I'm streaming on.
Yep.
I'm been brave enough to boot into it and try and stream from Windows 11. I've heard some, not some flash. Oh, look, there's been some issues, especially with on the AMD side, to do with the L3 cache not working correctly. It's not assigning cores the way it does properly. So I just watched a couple of videos today saying there's been a new patch on both on AMD side for the chipsets and also from say your motherboard chipset. You need to update that. Go on the manufacturer's website. So I'll need to jump on ASUS's at some point tonight. And also they Windows have also released a patch as well. So it should. And I watched Brian's latest video on Windows 11 in like there was one game that was ridiculous, like it doubled in performance.
Oh wow!
Like double the frame rates, and then but every game was like 30 to 40 FPS better than what it had been before the patch. So he said definitely they've done something going on in the background. He said something was obviously not right. So that was good. It's good that look. I still think like before I dive in and actually officially update, like actually go and do it and go through the rigmarole of doing it, and it is a rigmarole, and of doing a fresh install. I think I'll definitely wait till a couple of more months. I think once I think it was a little bit undercooked.
Is it a free upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11 like Windows?
100%. Yep, you just got to go into your BIOS and turn on the TPM settings. Trusted platform settings module in there. I think it's TPM and FPPM or something like that on Intel. But yes, you can. Yes, free upgrade. Which what Windows 10 did. Just the difference this time is some of the really old stuff's not going to run on it. But that's not new. Like people are making a bit of a song and dance about it, but that's not new. You know, there's old machines that stopped being able to run Windows 10 because they just didn't have the grunt. You know, and then there was machines that went from that had Windows 7 but couldn't run Windows 8. The one we shall not speak about, but you know, sort of the subsequent Vista. Vista was the big one. Like the Vista, like I went to Vista. I've got Vista still here. I've still got her on a CD. Vista was, and certainly from what I've seen, I remember I went from Windows XP to Vista. And let me tell you that people want to see a bad launch. That was a bad launch because all of a sudden a heap of games stopped working and wouldn't boot up. You know, like it was really bad. Like massive compatibility issues with keyboards and mice and USBs and oh my god, it was horrendous. But it got better. As it went on, it legitimately got better.
Yep.
And by the end, I was using Vista with no dramas. And it's going to be the same. Windows 10 was for me, it was the smoothest transition. Like when I went from Windows Vista to Windows 10. Actually, no, I think I had Windows 7. So when I went to so Vista to 7, I think was pretty okay. But again, I think I'll wait because I didn't do it launch day because I was waiting for the next, and I bought a retail copy of Windows 7. But then from Windows 7 to Windows 10, I found was probably easily the most smoothest process. It was really easy to do, didn't take much. You just now I've got a USB, like a USB stick with the installation drive on it. It's so much easier than it used to be. You used to have to burn it on a CD, and you have to have a CD burner, and it's a lot easier these days than what it used to be. And if you're smart, you go and buy yourself a Windows key. You get your installer, and then you buy a Windows 10 key for $10 or something. Go and check out Tech City or Greg Salazar, one of those smaller content creators, and mate, you can get a discount from them. I think it costs
usually a pretty good one from Brian from Tech City usually gives out pretty good deals from SCD keys.
It cost me $20. And I know I've got a retail version of Windows Windows 10. I've got a multi PC Windows version, but it's home. It's not Pro.
Yeah.
And I just went, no, I'm a Pro. So I paid about $20, got a Pro key, and I didn't have to, but I just did it. So it was easy. And when I've changed motherboards, which I did with this PC, it's easy. I just went and grabbed the key, and surprising how many times it just works. It doesn't say, oh no, this key's been used before, which used to be the problem. That was one of the biggest dramas of upgrading was the Windows key going, oh no, this is a Windows 7 key, you can't use this on Windows 8. Or Windows XP Vista key, you can't use this on Windows 7. I think Microsoft has figured it out now that, you know what, it's better that people are on our system and people don't start not discovering, but don't start thinking Linux or there's other or Apple is a better system or whatever. So
Yeah.
smart, and that's not where they make their money. Let's be honest. It's all cloud computing and storage and virtual machines and all that is where Microsoft made a ton of money. But yeah, it's the simple answer to it is it appears that they've addressed the AMD stuff, but my recommendation doesn't change. I would recommend that people wait, about next six months or so until you stop hearing about bugs and fixes and all that. Look, there'll always be bugs in Windows. I just and people, like I said, people were like, "Oh, it's undercooked. I should have held off." And I'm like, "Yeah." Look, at some point, Microsoft had to release it in the wild
Yeah.
and go, "Screw it. We're going to get bugs," because the philosophy of how, and I don't know whether it's still the case. So the way it got explained to me, the way Apple do it is everyone, when they work on their OS system, everyone has to work together to make sure their code works together.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft has all these different teams that work on different features of it, and then they crash it all together. And they go, okay, this stuff's not working together. And then they work on, and then they go back to the teams and say, yep, this doesn't work with this doesn't work with that. Yeah. And then they bug fix as they go along, as they develop it. Whereas Apple don't. Apple say, no, this all has to work together when it comes together. And if it doesn't, we all need to figure out how it doesn't work. And then we all need to get back together and we need to put it back together. So the philosophies, they've always said the reason why the Apple OS has always been more intuitive and easy to use, and not as many people try and hack it and break into it because it's that walled garden. So as much as it irritates me to say, Apple having that walled garden where you're stuck with iTunes and you're stuck with all their Apple stuff, and no one can third party providers have to pay a fee to get access, and Apple have to approve it.
Yep.
It's just a better, more secure way to do it. But saying that, it raises costs of everything and also means they get to dictate what they put on their platform or not. Whereas Microsoft's a little bit more open-ended.
Yep.
And speaking of companies that aren't open-ended, I've got it with me here, so I might as well. So I bought one of these. So what that does is, if you've got a Bluetooth wireless controller, you stick this into a PC.
Yep.
If you haven't got Bluetooth, for example, or your Switch, or your Xbox, or your PlayStation, and it will run that controller. Problem is, I bought an Xbox X controller / S controller, which is wireless. It's not Bluetooth. It doesn't work. Won't work, and Nintendo, it only works with certain controllers. So I cracked the shit. Funny story about this one. So this was one, I think I said last week, I ordered one and I said to them, hey, it hasn't, I waited a month to get it.
Yep.
Right? Didn't get it in the mail. They said, oh, there's no tracking number. We just send it express post, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, and it didn't come up, and I just went back to Amazon. I said, look, it hasn't arrived. They just issued a refund. Ordered another one from Amazon, and as I think I said in the last episode, yeah, got there on got on Friday. Hey, Taz, how you going, mate? Welcome to the stream, brother. And yeah, all of a sudden I found out, yeah, when I was trying to pair the controller up, it doesn't work.
Oh.
So in the end, I cracked the SADs, and I said to Amazon, I want to return it. And it was the easiest thing to do. You just literally, I went to they had a drop off point, and the lady goes, yep, show us your barcode, return barcode, showed her, printed off the label, stuck it on the box. Like within 10 minutes of leaving the joint, they issued me a refund. I just went and got a Switch Pro controller for, I think, $89 from Amazon. And it's going to be here tomorrow. Apparently, it's supposed to be here tomorrow. I'm like, done trying to connect them through, this third-party thing. And then I go in the post box, and the one that I'd waited a month that they couldn't tell me tracked, and I already got a refund, turns up in the mailbox today, doesn't it? Go to the mailbox today. I'm like, geez, that mailbox looks full. What's it? I'm like, oh, you're joking. I'm like, that can't be what I think it is. Turn it around. I'm like, oh, shit, it is too. So they've refunded me the money. I'm not going to even bother. Like, I think it's, to be honest, I reckon they would have had insurance on it. Because they pay $2.20 to send it. So they would have had it insured. They would have already claimed it. I'm not going to go back. No, too hard. And Gab's going, oh, Dad, you should give it back. That's illegal. They gave you a refund. You should give it back. And I'm like, yeah, mate, yeah. I said, oh, look at that. I said, oh, it's got a crack on it. Put it back. He goes, oh, let me see. Oh, you can't see it in the right light, mate. And just put it back in the box. Just put it on. I'm like, I don't need a morality lecture from you, 8-year-old. But I also don't want to teach him that that's okay to do, because theoretically, I should probably contact them. But I just know if I try and contact them, it's going to be harsh. Taz, we're good, boys. We're good, mate. We're good.
We are good. Welcome, Taz. How's the new place going?
Has he moved? Has he?
He has.
Mate, don't tell me these things. Don't talk to us anymore. No love, no gaming. Unbelievable. Make me sad. Is he actually in his new? He's not in his new house though, is he?
Yeah.
Are you in your new house yet?
Oh no, not the one getting built. No.
I was gonna say what? Yeah. Shit, damn, you got that done. not the build one. Oh, okay. Oh, mate. Is he closer to you closer in Frankston, mate, or what?
No, he's further away.
Oh, what is going on, mate? It's gonna suck when you move to bloody Botanic Ridge. Wow.
Cranbourne Heights.
Why the hell would you want to go live out there? Closer to Crown. Oh, yeah, that's a great plan with a mortgage. Yep. I'll get a Crown. Mate, you know what? My suggestion to Taz is this. You withdraw your whole mortgage, you go to Crown, and you say, I bet on black. And either yep, I'll put the house on it. That's it. Put it on black, mate, and either it's going to come up or you're going to double as much. And keep doubling the bet. Eventually you got to win, don't you? No, that's terrible. Don't take financial advice from me. I'm terrible. But moving on to crypto. I swear to God, I am going to make up a button that I'm going to be able to press, and it's going to go like the Batman theme.
Wow.
No. Sort of thing. I can't do that too loud because I'll probably wake Gabe up. But what's happening in the crypto world, mate? You've been following
pretty
much?
good. Like Bitcoin's still sitting close to the $85,000 AUD. Ethereum's around the $5,700 mark, which is still pretty good. It's with all the NFTs and the running on Ethereum, like they've all switched over to Polygon now. So it's bring the Polygon price up to $2.40, which I think it was when we first got in around the horses, and that's around $1.50. We're sitting good there. I think Sandbox is up to $1.15 too, which is the game Sandbox. And I think Solana's still sitting around $286. Veracity's up to about 11 cents now. I think it was sitting around 8 or 9 cents last week. So everything's sort of looking good at the moment. Cardano's sort of just under the $3 mark, but I think because of the Ethereum pump and everything, I think everyone just keeps making the switch. So
they're switching between Cardano and
yeah,
and ETH.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say it looks like it's a fairly bullish market at the moment. Like
it is fairly bullish. Yeah, let's see how long this will last for.
Yeah, I know it took a hit for a bit.
Yep.
But it's come back.
What you reading there?
I am trying to read the supposed English speaker here. ENJ going uppo.
ENJ, which is Engine Coin, which is Engines. What's that thing we talk about that makes the games, or not makes the games, that runs the games? What's that thing?
Unreal Engine.
Yeah, that's it. And Engine's got one of them, sort of like a piggyback with that on their blockchain, so they can, people that want to make games can use the Unreal Engine, and then they can transfer it into crypto, like transfer it into like a blockchain game with Engine.
That's interesting. What's that sitting at? Do we know?
Let's have a look. ENJ Engine Coin. The coin market cap, it's $2.11 USD, which I think it'll probably be around $2, very close to $3, $2.90. If I go to CoinSpot, go to buy sell.
So is that one worth trying to get into?
$2.88. It's yes and no. Like I remember when me and Taz first started buying, it was around 33 cents, and then I think it got up to $1, so I sold it all, and then it got up to around $3.50, and then I was spewing, I sold it, and then it went crashing back down again. But now it's sort of on a nice steady incline up. But I suppose the same with everything at the moment. I think.
Yeah. Well, they're saying inflation's is shaping up to be a massive issue in the next. And I think Brian's from Tekt Out, he's done a number of videos about this on a number of occasions. Mana is the one to keep an eye on. MANA.
Mana. Why does that sound familiar? What is it short for?
I might have to buy some of that. Try and get in on one of these things.
Let's use something to run on. Something's ran on Mana. I can't remember what it is.
And what about Dogecoin? How's our Dogecoin going?
Oh, let's have
going anywhere? Is Dogecoin
switch across to sitting around 37 cents, which is still pretty good for what it is. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th highest coin in front of the US dollar, USDC.
Cop that, Don. Cop that, US. Your coin ain't worth shit. Dogecoin. Oh, that's pretty embarrassing, man. Dogecoin's beating you. Far out. What about any NFTs that you reckon some people should be looking at the moment, or?
I don't know. Not really. I haven't really been looking that much. I think Paz has been on the hunt for a few new ones lately. I've just been sitting on on our horses, breeding them, racing them. Every day I throw Golden One in a few more races to try and get him up to his 30 races for the tournament, just to see where he sits at. So I'm not sure where he's sitting at yet. So we've loaded up about 5 races, so we'll watch them on Thursday night. It's a good plug for the Stingray Dog Collective.
Yeah, come and watch her on Stingray Dog Collective there with the NFTs and a lot more crypto.
Check out at Hype, HYPEECA on Facebook. We go live on Facebook every Thursday night. If you drop by now, you might see us live. You can stop watching the flipping spuds and watch us here.
Exactly. Yep. You know what? If that takes off and we, who knows? You know what? We might do this full time, not because we're good, but because we can afford to.
Yep.
We just don't care.
Would be nice. Would be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, exactly. Oh, here we go. Yep. So Taz is saying he's looking for some NFTs and looking for whitelists. Uh, Moisty says hi. He's watching but can't log into chat. G'day, Moisty. Thanks for coming,
Oh,
mate. Yeah, we appreciate you watching. It's
thanks for dropping by, Todd.
yeah, mate. It's much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated. Uh, the more people we get watching, the happier we get, and the smiles
Yep.
get bigger, and the jokes get looser.
And once we get our views to about double digits, we start to get a bit nervous. And
yeah, I know. Then we go, people watching. We have to behave. No more saying fuckity mcfuck fuck. But anyway, so that's crypto. But yeah, well, you're right. Go and do research. That's
the golden rule for crypto: do your own research.
Moisty. He's thanking us for getting him moist. I used to know someone who used to hate that word. Metaverse, yes. Even mainstream media is talking about metaverse.
Yeah,
I reckon that's going to be popping off, and I think we really need to have a serious look about how we get involved in that.
Yeah,
like and maybe put some.
but it's which metaverse do we get involved in? There's a sandbox. There's the Decentraland. There's a few others. What's that one that Benry told us about? That we're in there looking at all those art things. You were there with us?
Yeah. We were looking at those people who already had owned some of the signs and.
Yep.
Yeah. Look, I yeah. It's you know what? It's one of those things that it sounds like a lot of money right now. Like some of these things can be a couple of $1,000s, or some can be right up to $100,000. But then you look at them in 5 years' time.
Yeah. Well, is Sandbox was like this Ember Sword, which is another good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ember Sword looks like a pretty good game actually. But if you if they had Sandbox like Ember Sword, where you could actually, because you can't move from plot to plot like people's bits of land. Like, yeah, they all joined up, but you got to actually go in and find someone's land to be able to go into it. You can't just travel the metaverse going through people's places, which in Ember Sword you can. But I think Ember Sword you can't. Like Sandbox, you can make your own sort of anything. I think the camp have their own Ember their own Sandbox land, and they're making a game in there. Yeah, which is pretty close to similar to Temple Run sort of thing. Well, not Temple Run, but it's got that sort of vibe sort of going. Like you got to go and get across obstacles and whatnot.
Look, I think the vibe I get from this stuff is that at some point people are going to, you're right, want to be able to travel through the metaverse.
Yep.
It almost feels like the beginning of the internet. That's what it feels like. Like there's opportunities, and the difficult part right now is in 10 years' time you're going to hear about these people who got involved in this stuff really early, who made billions out of it.
Well, I think even Snoop Dogg's got partnered up with the Sandbox.
Yeah,
and he's got like a what's gonna call it? I don't know, like an arena. Yeah.
they reckon it'll replace the net. You know what? That it could be the next evolution of the internet.
Could be where you go in and actually, when you surf the internet, you're traveling around as yourself in the internet.
Which introduces a whole bunch of interesting discussions about privacy and being anonymous and all that sort of stuff, and whether that's how that's going to affect people's access to privacy and all that. Yep, you've sent me the link. I'll have a decentralized gaming platform made by players. I think the other thing as well is if I was EA and Epics of the world and all those major studios, I would be very, very, very nervous right now with the way that's playing out. Because all of a sudden, that metaverse cuts out right now. And I'm talking right now, it does. It cuts out the publishers of games. But very quickly, I think very quickly we're going to see, like at one stage, people could make massive money out of domain names. And then the next big thing was making money out of search engine utilization. How to come up number one on a search engine and advertising and how to pop in people's faces and all. And there's people who still make genuinely a lot of money out of that. And I think there's a guy, The Quartering, and that's basically his core business because he's pretty controversial and how he's managed to survive. I don't think he would ever survive on Twitch. Patreon won't let him get funded. I don't like a lot of what he's got to say. And look, I agree with some of the stuff he's got to say, but then there's some stuff that I just like, mate, you're just doing this for clickbait. Like, you're just doing this because you can, and you know that's your audience, and he tries to make out that he's this social justice warrior, and he doesn't take sides. And same with Isaac Butterfield, the Buttsman. I don't know whether you've watched him. But he just did a great video actually that I was really impressed with, which basically called out a guy who's belted a girl in a pub and some innocent bystander, and judge let him off, and just because he had the right connections, and it was pretty. Here we talk about we've got to stamp out call out domestic violence and all that, and then these peanuts getting off for shit like that. It's like. You want to change the conversation. Well,
sorry, I was just reading a bit.
That's all right, mate. So Taz, you went to see Isaac Butterfield live. I wouldn't mind seeing him live. He's pissed funny. Like, he's a very good comedian, but he doesn't give a shit. He's got zero fuck. But I don't know how well he does that. Yeah, I don't know how well in this day and age you can do that, and for how long before the grind of people attacking you all the time doesn't get to you and doesn't affect you. Was packed house, yeah. He's like, a little bit like David Chappelle, I think, in that he makes jokes, but behind the jokes there's some real intellect, and it's almost like a commentary on society. So, but. Enough about crypto and society and other people. Let's move on to some CPU launches coming up. Techtober, basically where lots of stuff gets launched. So Intel Alder Lake is due to be released, according to rumors, on the 27th of this month. You'll be able to pre-order it or order it. It'll be in stock and for sale. And they're saying, my advice is wait for reviews. There's a lot of big, bold claims by our mates over at Intel.
Yep.
Let's wait. Let's wait and see, because this is the first of their generation of big core, little core. So you get, like for example, both the i7 12700K and the i9 12900K have got 8 performance cores. But they've, I think, the 12900K has 4 more additional efficiency cores. So theoretically, what Intel's is claiming is that that chip is 12 cores, 24 threads.
Yep.
But 4 of those cores, 12 cores, are efficiency cores. So they're, like I've said before, they're more for background tasks, running videos, like low end stuff. But the performance cores will allow you to game. Taz has just made the comment saying, I love how you've gone from hating crypto to loving it, Bob. I don't hate anything, mate. I don't hate money. I don't hate money. I'm cautious because I think we all work very hard for our money, and I don't think it's right until you're educated to go to people, jump on board, and that's the great thing. That's why I like hanging out with yourself, Eggy, and all the boys on the Stingray, especially on this our Stingray show, and listening to you guys talk and talking to you guys and seeing the NFT stuff. It's been educational. It's been, you know what, there's something to it. Is it a gamble? Let's be very clear. Absolutely. It is very much, it reminds me of stocks and shares where it's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to pop off. It's probably way more unpredictable than stocks and shares in the sense of you just don't know what NFT is going to take off. And like, as soon as you get a celebrity attached to NFT, it usually means it's going to pop off.
Yeah.
But it usually means it's not cheap either. You know what I mean? Like the NBA hot shots.
Well, they're cheap to get into. I think it's like $15 to get into one of them.
Yeah.
Well, 3 of them actually. You get three per pack.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're cheap, but who do you get? You know, 3, maybe one guy you kind of heard of, and then 2 guys you're like, who the hell are these guys? Never heard of them before. But you know,
well, I think there was with the packs of 3, you could get like a free Bosch moment. So I think you've heard of Anthony. I can't remember his name now. Something Bosch. He used to play for the Heat, then he went to the Magic, and now I can't remember where he's at now. Or is at the Magic, went to the Heat.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, like if you can land something like a Simmons, or who's the other Aussie guy? The one that's having.
I know it. Oh fuck.
The guy's having all the dramas at the moment. Who wants to leave the team? But he's got 4 years left.
Yeah. Oh, I can't think of the name. I know it when I hear it.
Because Patty Mills is the nice guy, isn't he? He's the one that had a cracking game at the Nets, at the Jets, New York Jets on the weekend. Simmons, that's the one.
But you already said Ben Simmons. I was thinking of Patty Mills.
No, it's Ben Simmons. Sorry, yeah, it is Ben Simmons who's having a wobbly. Sorry to say, but the reeks of spoiled child syndrome.
They're all saying back him though.
Like
the teammates were saying that they understand what's going on, and he's still our brother and stuff like that. I can't remember if it wasn't one of his teammates said that.
I don't know about all his teammates. A couple of his teammates have come out and had some fairly red hot cracks at him too. I don't know, man. Like, to me, it's you've signed a 4-year contract and he's got a choice. Either he can grind it out, show that he's, you know what, yep, it's a shit team, or it's this, or it's that, and not going to do anything and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, just grind out the 4 years.
Yep.
Or wait another 2. Well, at least wait another 1. Because at 4 years, that team's not going to give you away for nothing. And then the other team also doesn't want to give too much for you because they're like, what happens if he does the same shit to us? And I don't think whoever his player agent is, I don't think he's doing a good job of going, look at the optics, my friend, because, yeah, you're going to get somewhere else. But your new teammates are going to go, let's see how this shit works out. Because this team had to give up a lot to get this guy in. And B, the coaching staff are going to be wary going, is this, well, they're going to be the ones who want to recruit him. But if I was an organisation, I'd be worried. I'd be like, are you going to want to stick around your whole contract? You know, like how much of a, and that's the thing. I reckon Ben Simmons might find himself in a spot where most clubs might say, oh, I'll give you a 3-year contract. Because you've shown you don't want a long-term contract. You know, you've got 4 years left at this club and you don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless someone decides to buy the contract out. look, if you were look, if and the problem is, I think as well, is he's not going to accept a contract for some, bottom of the rung team either. He wants
No.
he wants a championship and he wants to move to a championship team, but I think he's not there yet. He's there's been a couple of examples of where parts of his game need to improve. I'm not a basketball aficionado. I'm just regurgitating what one of my ex-work mates used to say. And he was like a real rigid edge, like lover of the game, like a student of the game, not just he played it, he lived it, he breathed it, like he understood it intimately. So it was really interesting to hear him talk about. And I miss that. I miss that he's not doesn't work with me anymore, because it was really fascinating to just listen to him talk about it with such passion and knowledge. And like the way he would explain, well, this is a weak point of Simmons, and he would, explain to you, he can't shoot this way, or he really needs to work on this. And well, so anyway, but anyway, enough basketball. But yeah, so Intel. Go back to our Intel stuff. Thanks for. Oh, Taz has got a question. Go ahead, mate. Just pop it in chat. Happy to answer it, mate. But yeah, so Intel. Wait for the reviews. So some pricing was allegedly leaked. So they reckon for the 12700K, so the 8-core chip, is going to be 700, around 700 Australian, or 469.99 USD, and 669.99, or around 1,000 for the 12900K, which will be four more efficiency cores. What temp should a GPU and CPU be sitting at when gaming? Oh, mate, that's pretty open-ended question. That all depends on what case is it in. Are we talking laptop, desktop?
But you want it around 70 or under.
Yeah, like most of that stuff should sit.
Like I think 80 is probably the highest you want to go, but you don't really want to be running it at 80. You want it.
And CPUs tend to not run much over 60 or 70 if they've got decent cooling. GPUs, look, I can tell you now, and I've got the fan going here. Like at the moment, the PC is not doing much work, but that Intel one, when I'm gaming, I've literally like played with you boys at night. My CPU sits between 80 and 100. Yeah, Taz, yours is a pretty. If it's your laptop, mate, that's pretty. You make it work hard. A lot. More than it really should.
Maybe it might need a blowout or something too. There might be some dust in there.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, you might just need to just take off the back cover. And look, if it's out of warranty, it's definitely worth just, mate, we can do that now. We can catch up at some point, and I can just open up the back cover and just blow out some dust and stuff if there's anything there. But it's hard, man, because like you could go and repaste the CPU and stuff, and it'll do nothing, because laptops are just traditionally hot. If you want to try and maybe offset some of that heat, you can get laptop cooling pads that actually literally blow cold, like try and blow cold air into underneath the slots of the laptop to cool it. But I've got a massive laptop for work, because the biggest issue I found was it was like this tiny HP thing. And yeah, see, I've got a fan. Yeah, mate, there's not a lot you can do. Because it just gets so hot. It's just, you got to remember, it's think of it this way. If you run at full speed, right, even if it's cold, wet, for example, I do long distance running. So I can start running in, say, 6-degree morning. And, it's cold. Like, you can feel the cold. I can promise you, after about 2-3 Ks, you're feeling shit. You're feeling nothing. You're starting to warm up.
Just like AFL players in the middle of winter, you're rugged up to watch the footy, and they're running around in shorts and a singlet.
Yeah, and those guys would be like dumping a whole bunch of fluids. Like that's why you constantly see them drinking. That's why they, it's so dangerous for them during hot days because they just lose so much more sweat because, and it's the same with your CPU. And I would imagine, Taz, if it's going up that high, your gaming experience would be pretty average too. Like the hotter it gets, the more average that thing's going to run. Because what it'll do is to try and keep itself cool, might just build soon. Just thinking might just build sooner, mate. Do it. If I am not gonna play much on it to be honest. Yeah, mate. Taz, if you want to build something, mate, I can tell you right now. Like I've actually, if you take a look in the YouTube channel, there's some links there for our PC bargains that I put in there, and let me tell you, those PC bargains. So there's an MSI 550 Tomahawk ATX motherboard. That's $179. That's a very nice motherboard. Make no qualms about that. That is a good motherboard. And then you've got the AMD 50. Thing is, if he wants to stream, I would actually say get a 5700G, which you pay about $100 more. So it's about $499.
Yep.
Okay. So you're at around that $600, and it's got an inbuilt graphics card. Because at the moment, graphics cards are still just stupid expensive.
And thanks to Nvidia and Pentanet, you don't need a graphics card anymore.
That's the other thing, Taz. Mate, go over to go do that. Go and check that out. You can do a basic subscription, costs you nothing, which gives you 1 hour of gameplay per day. And you can play like Outriders, all sorts of games, man. Like you can play a heap of your games in your Steam library. Splitgate, you can play Splitgate on it. You've got no issue. It'll run. Go and check Nvidia GeForce now, mate. If you're not ready to build a PC because your laptop should definitely be able to run that, and it should run it easily because you're not using the hardware to run anything. It's all being done by them, and all you're doing is just getting a stream into your PC. So it's just got to.
For a quick link to it, it's cloud.gg.
Yeah.
CLOUD.gg.
Yeah. If you need a code, mate, just let me know, and I'm happy to give you a referral code. Where are we? Hold on. He's in Twitch. So hold on. Twitch streaming.
So how much were those Alder Lake?
So the Alder Lake were about $1,000. So like I said, about Alder Lake was going to be what did I say? About 700 Australian dollars for the i7 12700K, and about $1,000 for the 12900K. Like I said, wait for the reviews. I know that people will jump on and pre-order, and then there'll be like chip shortages and scalping and all that sort of stuff. You know what? 99% of everyone out there has probably got hardware that's more than good enough for now.
Yep.
And waiting another 3 months is not the end of the world, unless you absolutely have to. Like Taz might be in that sort of boat, but then you got plenty of AMD stuff around, which at the moment I'm not convinced the Intel stuff's going to be. I think it's going to be biffo. I think it's going to be very good for consumers. I think it's going to be very close race, and for the average person, it will make zero difference. The performance figures, it's just bragging rights. That's all it is. But for 99% of people, they'll be happy to run it. And the Z690 boards are already with reviewers, so we know that much. I think Hardware Unboxed have got some. Come 27th, I think. So 27th, which is tomorrow, which I think that's US, so it'll probably be Thursday. I reckon you'll see a whole bunch of reviews just suddenly at midnight just go bang. They'll all do benchmarking. Actually, you should check out Steve from Hardware Unboxed's video on building his shed and his
Okay,
desk. Oh, you would like that for you would be like building porn.
well.
You know, it's like even I was impressed. I was like, man, I wish I had the skill to do that shit. And just the way he's thought it all through, and he, like he explains, and he goes through explaining everything has a purpose. There's a reason for everything is built. This is why I did it. If you were building it, you would tighten this up. You do, but with what I do, this is why I've done it this way. Like he goes through and amazing. It's really, really cool content. I think you'd really like it. But mate, that's the end of my topics. Did you have anything you wanted to? Any topics you
No,
wanted to raise?
that was it for me.
So the only.
Oh no, we got your PC bargains.
Oh yes, sorry, PC bargains. Yes, so I did talk about the 5600G. So the first one, guys, if you check out the link in our YouTubes, is look, these are all from Centacom, and only reason they're from Centacom is Amazon don't, and it's cheap. So as we've always said, you know what, we're always going to try and give you guys. If I'm going to give you a link, I'm going to try and give you a link to something that I've done some research on, and as far as I can see, it's the cheapest there is out there. Just keep in mind, you might be able to find something a couple of dollars somewhere cheaper, but be careful because if they only do shipping, what you find is then it's a couple of bucks more expensive because you got to pay for shipping. Whereas with Centacom, you can go to physical store and do it. So the first one's the Corsair K55 Pro, RGB Pro and Qatar Pro gaming bundle for $99. If I'm not mistaken, Memento pay for vote. Oh no, I've got the K55 RGB keyboard.
Yep.
Not the RGB Pro, but I use it for work, and I've also got the mouse. Great, like for a like just for a, like I use it every day. I type on it. It's great for that. It's a membrane keyboard. It's not a mechanical keyboard. Just keep that in mind. But I've played some games on it and stuff like that.
What's the difference? Like there's a mechanical blade, was the click.
So you've got different switches, and that's a whole different. I can talk about that next week. But actually, I'll put that on. I'll actually have to put that on as a topic for next week. Mechanical keyboard switches. But if you look it up, you can Google it as well, rather than have me bore you with the details. But there's different types of switches which do different things. So for instance, blue switches are the really clicky, loud switches. Red switches are more tactile. You got brown, you got red, you got green, you got There's a couple of different, and then you've got, for example, Logitech use like a hybrid, a G Roller Roma switch, which is more of an optical type switch, and I use that on my G910 keyboard, Orion keyboard. I love it. Like I've played heaps and heaps on it. It's had some really long use on it. I love it, and it's got really nice RGB. It's got lots of programmable buttons. The K55 Pro. Let me just before I say this, let me just double check. Yeah, it does. So it's got the programmable macro keys on the left, and you might think, oh, well, who needs them?
Oh, I just noticed that on the keyboard too that they've got 6 macro keys on the side, and you can actually download Elgato Stream Deck software to be able to use them as like a stream. Yeah,
you can do that. Also, what you can do is, because I use this keyboard for work, right? I have it programmed into the keyboard that I can. So I've got I think the first 4 buttons programmed. One's copy, one's paste, one. Actually, I don't know what G1 does. I'll have to check. But G2 copies, G3 copies, G2 pastes, and G4 I can press the button and it just does my signature. Like I do I just go, like when I sign off, when I respond to a deal, I go, kind regards, Dean. So rather than having to type it every time, I just go bang and just types it out for me. It's fucking brilliant. And the thing is, it doesn't need the software to do it. And the other thing is, there's a function key on there. Oh, no, this mouse is a little bit different. This one looks like it's a little bit... Oh, no, it's the same one. I'm pretty sure it's the same one I've got. And it's got backwards, forwards buttons and all that sort of stuff. So if you take... Yeah, that's the same keyboard I've got. I don't know why... Oh, no, it's slightly different. Actually, that looks like it's slightly better than mine. I think I've got that bottom piece. I just don't use it. I don't like it.
Yeah,
it makes the keyboard too big and bulky to have that extension on it. But the other cool thing is you can just hit the function key and use the F keys without having the software to change the colors on the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't install the software on a work PC.
Yep.
For security reasons, but I can do the function key and I can, like, it cycles through some basic colors. Like I think there's about 7 or 8 colors that it cycles through. It's all right. I just set it to yellow or green or whatever, and it's, you know, the keys are lit up and it's grouse, man. Like I have no qualms recommending that. I bought mine a little bit cheaper than that, but everything's gone up. So I for that, I've seen that as high as $120, $125 previously in their store. So it's a good membrane keyboard that's okay for gaming. It's not going to be the best for gaming because there will be a bit of but for typing and for work, it's brilliant because I'm so used to now typing so quickly. I tried to go to one of those old school, like mushy key, you know, like the $10 ones that work give you. No bueno. It misses every 4th or 5th letter I type.
Yep.
I'm like,
you're just too fast for it.
Yeah, because I'm just too quick. I'm like, fuck, I actually have to get a decent I've got to get a keyboard that can actually type now. Because I had this wireless one and I was like, come on, bloody press. And like every 3rd or 4th letter, without fail, it would miss. But no, the Corsair one, perfect, no problem at all. And like I said, you can type on it all day and you can game on it as well. So, and that mouse is quite a nice mouse too. Next one is the MSI, and I mentioned this, the MSI MAG B550 Tomahawk ATX motherboard for $179. That is a nice board.
It is a nice looking board too.
Yeah.
Bit of RGB on it too.
Yeah. So the B450 version of that was very popular. Very, very popular. Even Hardware Unbox really rated that board and said, you know, and they actually...
Well, if you're going to buy it, if you're going to go in store, I suggest you go soon. Looks like all stores are low in stock.
Yeah,
actually,
that will be.
Yeah, and then online has it in stock. So
yep.
If you want to snap it up, be sure to do it.
Yeah, and over X amount of dollars, like Centacom, I think it's over $75. They do it for free. They ship for free anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, so
this deal ends 11 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, so you got until Sunday, guys. There is a wireless mouse in there as well if you want it, if you're after one. The Dark Pro wireless is for $139. That retails around that $150 mark normally. So that's actually quite good. Again, that's on Centacom. It's on their front page if you want to go check it out. But that's the mouse I'm using at the moment, and I love it. I think it's freaking awesome. Very responsive, wireless. You can definitely game with it. It's definitely very, very good. But yeah, I mean the Tomahawk motherboard there. It's got the, it's got the 2 NVMe slots. It's got the nice armored, plated top PCIe slot. It will handle up to a 5950X, no problem. It's got good VRMs on it, and it's got a built-in IO shield, and it comes with a 2.5 gig and a 1 gig connection on the back for your internet. So, and it's got one of my favorite things is it's got a flash BIOS button. So if you screw up updating the BIOS on it, guess what? You can flash it and start again. So look, it is a little bit short on rear I/O ports, but it comes with a display port for a monitor. So if you've got onboard graphics, which unless you're getting the 56 or 5700G, AMD don't have it on the other chips like the X chips. Look, yeah, like I said, it is a little bit sparse. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only got 5 USB ports at the back of it.
Yep.
Nothing a USB hub can't fix. In fact, I went and bought one from Amazon for about $65 a couple of weeks ago, and I'm running everything at the moment, and it's like a fair distance from me, and it's fine. It's brilliant. The next bargain on our list is, or the last thing is some really good cheap RAM, and this one's actually I said everything was from Centacom. Sorry. One thing is from Shopping Express. And Shopping Express have got Crucial Ballistic RGB RAM 16 gig kit, 3200. Don't let anyone tell you there's a massive difference between 32 and 36 and 4000. There isn't. Between 32 and 3600, if I got two PCs and got someone to blind test them playing games or just using them, guarantee they're not going to tell the difference.
Yeah. But I can tell you the difference between 16 gig and 32 gig.
Yes, you can. That's the thing people don't realize is there's the difference between 16. Because you upgraded. There's an interesting question. Look, you've upgraded from 16 to 32.
Yep. And now my CPU can't keep up.
Mate, just cash in some of the money that you're winning, mate. Upgrade, mate. You could sell the 3600 probably for a decent price, and upgrade to the. Oh, look, I would wait. If I was you, I'd just wait till the next AMD stuff comes out, and then you'd probably pick up. Like you'll end up being able to pick up a 5800X for next to nothing.
Yep.
Oh, well, not next to nothing, but cheaper than what you would.
Also, I think you have the 5600G for 400. Then there's 106 for the RAM there, and then you got the motherboard for what's that 179. So what's it about $700? You can get yourself a new little setup.
Yeah, like if you've got all the other bits and pieces like a case and a good power supply and a graphics card.
Yep.
Go at it. And even if you wanted to go, 32 gig, I've seen for. I reckon I've seen it for about $220.
Well, you can get 2 sets of those. Like it'll fit in that thing for $212.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with Ryzen though. If you're going to use that RAM on Intel, yeah, absolutely, just go buy 2 kits of that. You're done. Ryzen, depending what version of Ryzen, I think the latest ones with the latest BIOS updates are nowhere near as fussy. But your one, you've got to be a little bit careful with your 3600 because if you went and bought 32 gig of that as 2 separate kits, you might plug them in and find it's just not happy, or it'll only work at 3000 or won't go over 3200. It won't go over 3000.
I must have been lucky with me Corsair RGB Vengeance Pro. Yeah, I bought 2, they worked, and I bought 2 more a year later, and they still work. So.
I was the same with my G-Skill one. I bought 2, exactly that. I did 2 lots of G-Skill at 32 gig, 32 gig kits. So I got 3 lots of 16 in the machine, in the AMD machine. I have to admit, there's been a part of me that's really wanted to go and get like just a dual channel 2 sticks of 32 gig each, 64 gig. But I just struggle to justify. Like, I know I could probably sell those as 2 separate 32 gig kits at $150 each, so $300, and then another $200 I would, and I'm covered. Like for $200, I'd be upgrading to 2 sticks, and it'd be nicer, and I could probably get like Corsair ones that are nicer not a little bit nicer RGB because I got Gabe 32 gig kit. Didn't want to hand them over. They were pretty.
They are pretty.
They were pretty, and I thought I could use them in the Intel system. But then it's only 32 gig. Like, just give him 64. I'm like, don't be stupid. Just shut up and.
I've had mine set up as like a teardrop for the last 9 months. Usually I change it every couple of months, but I'm sort of stuck on this now.
You like it, eh?
Teal teardrop. It's flowing down.
Yeah, no, the RGB on the Corsair ones is really good. But the thing is, if you weren't too fussed, but I mean, the ballistics ones will be fine. I mean, they'll have decent RGB. They're RGB, so they're not the plain black ones, and that's why I suggested these ones because I think the cheapest ones I could find was 125. Yep, you've got it all going blue.
Yep. There you go. You can see us talking.
Hello, hello, everybody. Awesome. Now the last topic of the night before we go is we're almost at the end, aren't we? We've got one more week to go, Iggy.
We do. Not sure what your plans are next week because I think the Tuesday is Melbourne Cup. Are you away for the long weekend or?
I'll be working Cup day.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, mate. I hate to tell you, when you work for a national company like I do, you fucking loathe grand final day and Cup day because it's so Melbourne centric and the rest of the country's still open, mate.
Yep.
You're just like, nah.
When I used to live in Queensland, we used to stop for Melbourne Cup. We used to have a Melbourne Cup barbecue every day. Well, every day, but every Melbourne Cup would stop at lunchtime and
yeah,
watch the Melbourne
and watch
Cup.
the race.
Yep.
Okay, maybe not so Melbourne, but yeah, like I like working that day because then I can pick a day where I can like legitimately have a day off because like I've got stuff to do or I can organise. It's not a public holiday, so I can organise. I'll go get a massage or go to the dentist or go to this, do that. Like whatever. I can do whatever I want. Sort of thing. So mate, if you're up for it next Tuesday, doesn't bother me. It's just maybe Tuesday.
I'll talk to the wife. Maybe we could switch it to the Monday and have a pre-Melbourne Cup day celebratory, and be the date November 1st. We can draw the comp.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it ends this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, at midnight. So, what do you have to do? You've got to drop.
What you got to do if you're looking at my screen, you got to retweet this tweet. You got to follow and like High PCA and the Flippin' Spuds. You got to tag one friend in the retweet, and that's pretty much it. Competition ends 31st to the 10th. They're open to Australian residents only and age 15 plus because of the games. They're mature audience only, so you've got to make sure you're over the age of 15, and because we're getting these sent out to you.
Oh, because our audience. Well, you know what, Iggy? I think we're getting confused. Our audience act like 10-year-olds, but I don't think they actually are. So we should be sweet.
Yep, we should be.
But yeah, and guys, as hi, Bushmary. Thanks. Hey, mate, how you going?
Bush, how are we?
Hey, thanks for popping in, brother. I just saw that pop up on my Streamlabs. So yeah, come and do that. And again, guys, come and check out the channels too on YouTube. And look, at the moment, I'll be honest, the Flipping Spuds has only got the show. But if you can like and comment on the show and pretend you watched it and just put it on replay, hey, appreciate it. You want to check it out on Facebook, replay it and watch it. It's great. Like, you want to go and check out the VOD on Twitch, brilliant. It all helps, both for ECA and for myself. There you go. There you go. Iggy's posted in the chat there. He's got the Twitter, Hype ECA status. Go for it. And I'll put it up on the Flipping Spuds channel, Twitter page as well for you guys to retweet it to some friends if you haven't already. It's just a way to grow the channel, and what it does is, like we've said in the past, the more the channel grows, we might be able to make a little bit of money out of it. Not looking to, but enough to, give away a mouse or a keyboard with mouse combo or
A brand new car.
relax
Match,
there, Bernie Ecclestone.
Matchbox car. No.
Yeah, it might be.
Hot Wheels.
I don't know whether I told you the day my son owned me, and he was only 4. One day he was going, I want to go to Target and buy toys. And I'm like, and my default thing at the time, and still is to this day, is go with a slight tweak to what I say now. I said to him, yeah, well, mate, I want to drive a red Ferrari. Guess we're both going to be disappointed today. Hold that thought, Dad. Those words, 4 years old. He goes, hold that thought, Dad. What's he doing? Comes out, plonks his remote control Ferrari down. He goes, ta-da! And I'm like, get in the back seat. We're going to Target, mate. So the next time I said it, I'm like, unless there's a real Ferrari that I can drive and get into, you're not going to do this. So I kind of had to learn my lesson there that he can literally outwit me at 4. So, yeah. But it was hilarious. It was just like, ta-da! I'm like, yep, get in the car, we're going to Target. You tell me what toy you want. You've earned that. So,
what sort of Ferrari would you like to drive?
I have had a chance to drive a Ferrari, but a bit of a clapped out one. But man, it still made nice noise. I'd love to drive an F40 or an Enzo, something like that. I never want to own one of those cars, but I would love the opportunity to just do. I would love a day where my ultimate bucket list thing would be to be able to go on a racetrack and do like 4 or 5 laps, like at Sandown, in like a Ferrari, a McLaren, like a Zonda, a Bugatti,
Yeah.
just to feel that, and then walk away and go and accept I will now die and know I will never experience that sort of speed in my life again. Because I know I've been very fortunate with obviously working at Nissan that I did go on a GDR drive day at Sandown, and let me tell, I'd worked at Holden as well, and I've driven you name a HSV from 2000 to about 2000.
Was this one of the new GDRs, or was this one of the older, like the R32 or R33?
Oh, it was the R35, mate. And I even got to go in the car when two of the trainers who were like professional drivers had a drag race. And let me tell you, that car is a legitimate weapon. It is a legitimate supercar. I just could not believe and I got to do like paddle shifts on it. I got to do 220 k's up the back straight, like of Sandown. Like Sandown's back straight goes like this, and then it kinks.
Yep.
And there's and when I was coming up, the instructor, she said to me, "Now on the way back, you're going to see this kink, and you're going to want to let go of the accelerator." She goes, "Don't. My advice to you is don't. Just turn the wheel. I promise you, the car will just turn and go in the direction you want." I'm like, okay. So I'm like, yeah, of course, Oh, X-Hoon? Yeah. Nothing's going to scare me. Let me tell you, at 180 kilometers an hour, when you're approaching that bend, the sphincter's going like this. You suddenly realise that. Just tell me I'm being too loud. You suddenly realise that all of a sudden, I want to lift off the gas here, but I didn't. I'm like, no, shut up, brain. Foot, you stay where you are. And yeah, sure enough, you turn the wheel. It was like a go-kart on wheels, mate. Just went around the corner.
Yes, is there much difference between like a 2008 model to like a 2016 model?
I honestly don't.
Like in the motor-wise, anyway?
No. It's all really minor like, they haven't really advanced that car dramatically, probably for the last four, I reckon 4 or 5 years. Because you got to remember that car costs a significant amount of money to develop.
Yeah, I think it was around 200 grand or something. But now I think you can pick up like a 2008 to 2010 for around just over 100. I think
Yeah,
they're around 200 or something like that.
it was
Or
well
maybe
looked after. And the thing is, the great thing about them is the part, like, unless it's something major like transmission or engine, everything else is a Nissan part. Like, it's not that like when you compare a set of rotors
Mercedes or
on a
BMW.
on a Mercedes, like the AMG stuff, the M Sport stuff, or the, forget about it when you start talking Ferrari, Porsche, all that.
Yep.
It is, it's expensive, and servicing can cost you a bit more than what a normal Nissan does, but that's because there's specialized stuff. Like if you do a track day, well, you're meant to change the diff oil and you're meant to change the gearbox. But a lot of the people who own these cars know that, and they love them because they're still significantly cheaper to maintain than a Porsche or a Ferrari or all those cars that if you go do track days with them, you've dropped 30 grand for the day just on servicing the car. 30, 40.
Yep.
So, whereas the Nissan's nowhere near that. But yes, no cars on the channel, Eggy, unless they're Matchbox cars. Matchbox cars we can do. But mate, have you got anything else to add to tonight's show? Or?
No, that was it. But yeah, I'm a member of LMCT Plus. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've seen them advertise some stuff up there. What's that about?
Well, they do like raffle giveaways.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, we're giving it away an Allen.
I think it's like $5 a week or something.
Oh really?
Yeah, $20 a month, and I think that they give away 2 big giveaways. So I think that they've teamed up with eye candy. So I think every week they do like work like hotted up cars they give away, and then on the Thursdays they do like a Kluger or a Yaris or some sort of Toyota, I think.
It's not bad. I wouldn't say no to a Toyota.
Yeah.
Good reliable cars.
See if
But
I'll find the link somewhere.
Yeah, mate.
I'll get back to you.
But no, it was very. Oh mate, look, like it was just phenomenal. Like it was one of the best, and probably the second best drive day I ever went to was the last one I went to at Holden.
Yep.
And that was when they owned Saab and Hummer. At that stage, they were selling Saab and Hummer in Australia, and they had like. And I remember I was in an SS, and then I jumped into a club sport, and I'm like, difference this thing going to be? Like it's 30 extra kilowatts or something. What's the big deal? You pay all that money more for HSV. Yeah, I needed to shut up at that point. Because there was a difference, and mate, just the way it just shifted gears, and just the responsiveness and the power, how it was delivered. Oh my god, like amazing. That was the one thing that's why it broke my heart when that company decided to pull out, because they made some of the best muscle cars in this country. Ford really struggled until it did the BA, and even then, like with FPV and stuff, they still were not as good as the HSVs.
No,
they were just not there. Like yes, they had great V8 engines and the turbo engines, the Barrett turbo engines. Look, let's not kid ourselves; they were amazing.
Yeah,
straight line 6 with twin turbos, and those things could be just boosted to the shit.
Yeah, like they're almost like a Toyota Supra. They can handle like 600 or 700 horsepower with stock internals, stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, not taking nothing away from Ford, but just HSV just did it different. Just did it differently, and much. I just think they were a much more exciting car, and I was blessed, truly blessed, that I got to drive Monaros and HSVs and even the HSV coupes. I'll never forget. I rocked up to company cars, and Monaro hadn't started selling yet, so we were all just test driving. like they were just the company car ones.
Yep.
That were going to go to the press. So I rock up to company cars, and everyone had, because people might not remember when Holden first launched the Monaro, they launched two versions: the supercharged V6, which was called the CV6, and the CV8. Now the CV6 they dropped after the first model because no one wanted a CV6. Like they had to virtually give them away.
Yep.
So I rock up to company cars. Everyone's had this yellow CV6, and it was like, oh, it's nice. It would have been nice to have a V8. And I was like, well, you know what? It's grouse that you get seen in the Monaro, and it's a cool looking car. So I rock up to company cars with the lady who's second in charge of customer service, and I think she's still there. And she said, we rock up, and the guy she goes, oh, I've got Dean from Cass, you know, he's come to take the Monaro tonight. It's his turn. And the guy goes, oh, okay. He goes, oh, no, we'll have to give you this one. It was a silver one. And she goes, why? She goes, oh, the other one's in. We've got to service it because it's got some K's up on it. And I look at the badge. First thing I looked at was the badge. CV8. And she didn't even turn around. All I hear from her is, behave yourself. Do not break the car. I'm like, okay, Joe. I'm in my head, I'm like going, oh, fuck yeah. May have infracted a speed limit or two at one point. I remember up Hall Road, actually. I went out, showed my mum and dad, and then I drove to my in-laws who had a farm at that stage at Lyndhurst, which isn't there anymore. They built over it. And went up Hall Road, and I took my two nephews, myself, and none of us were light, big, solid, fairly solid boys.
Yep.
And they're like tall, like they're well over 6 foot, both of them, and and my niece. And I went to overtake a car, a guy in a Camry. And I put my foot down to overtake him because he was doing 80 and 100. I think Hall Road at that stage was 100 still back in those days. Got to overtake him, and there was a car coming, so I thought, I'll just zip around him. So I sped up on purpose.
Oh.
So I pull back, and I'm like, oh, really now? And I'm just drumming my fingers on that steering wheel. Car comes past, there's nothing behind him. Let's just say, mate, that thing had 4 people in it, and it was pulling like a freight train. Like I said, I may have well and truly exceeded the speed limit had I been caught, and in these days, there would have been an impounding of a car. And let me tell you, mate, that thing did not, for a second, feel like it was anywhere near, like with 4 people, that it was like, starting to struggle to get. It was just like, how much faster do you want me to go? And I'm like, I need to back off here because I was coming up to, like, I was really quickly coming up to the back of, what's that, Karen Downs, I think. So I had to back off and then just turn around and come back. And my nephews are just like, damn. And they were amazing. Like, it's the one thing that makes me sad about this country is the fact that we lost those guys, because they truly made amazing cars. The Monaro was just the way it handled. Look, it wasn't a Ferrari, but it was brutally honest, mechanical V8 love. It was just the noise. You just couldn't. Mate, if I could buy one tomorrow in good nick for a decent amount of money, I would, mate, without it even. And my wife said, "If you've got one car you can buy, this is your budget," and I could do it within that budget. I wouldn't even blink. Would not even blink. I would just go bang, buy this.
See, mine would be the Holden VL Walkinshaw.
That was the first car I fell in love with.
So I actually built a VL turbo and put a Walkinshaw kit on it. Well, I didn't like the boot spoiler back in those days, but then painted it candy apple green. And
I had a mate of mine who was at the time working at Holden, and he got a legitimate Walkinshaw kit.
Yep.
And put it on a VL turbo like you, and it was red. And oh my god, that thing was, and he worked how I did not kill myself in that car. He goes, I do not understand. Like literally, like the thing would go off the clock and keep going around. It had that much power. Oh mate, and I remember meeting a guy years after. I remember meeting a guy who had a genuine Wilkinshaw, and he worked that motor, and like he could do. And in that, keep in mind those days this was quick, but he could do sub 12-second quarter miles.
Yep. I remember selling that, and then I borrowed some more money and ended up paying like 20 grand or something
Mm-hmm.
for a R33 Skyline. But I was like, contemplating between getting that and a Walkinshaw, because the Walkinshaw was around 33 grand then.
Eggy.
But I was like, if I bought one, where would I drive it? And then I have to look after it. Like I wouldn't drive it, and then
I've got a
yeah,
cousin in.
10 years down the track now, they're like 80 grand minimum, maybe 100 grand now actually.
My cousin's got one in Sydney, and
Yep.
I saw it in the flesh when I went on my trip a couple of months ago. Mint condition, like mint, and it's got like I think under 10,000 k's on it or something, like ridiculously low kilometers, like the plastic still on it, and like mint condition. He took it to auction, and I think there's a couple of them who own it, and they were looking to get 500 grand for it, and they didn't quite get there, but they weren't far off it from what he was saying.
I remember when I was like 22 or 23 that like one of the Sydney like one of like the Holdens actually still had one that was still unsold. I think it was build number 498 or something like that, and like it still had the plastic on the seats and that, and I was trying to sell it for 65 grand back then. Like I'd hate to see how much it was now. I remember for some reason I remember.
Yeah, if someone actually bought it and was
Yep.
smart about it and kept it in storage and just ran the motor so nothing seized up and changed the oil on it and looked after it and stuff like that. That now is probably well over around that $500,000 mark.
Well, even like old R33 GTR Skylines now, met a bloke that sold his for 135,000. Like this one had been a bit of work, but he said, yeah, just for like a stock standard one, they're going for around 70, 80 grand.
You know what's changed? US now can import them, and there's not enough of them. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what's jacked up the prices of those things. Something stupid. Used to pick up R33 Skylines for like. My mate had an R32 GDST.
Yep. Well, yeah, I had a 33 GDST and 20 grand. I was like, back in the day when they were just as the like the R32 GDRs turned 15-year-old, like I think the import, like the taxes on them were nothing. As soon as they turned 15, you could get them for like 12 grand from Japan and ship them in for here for 2 grand. It was like 15 grand to get yourself a GDR. And you can go off and sell it for 20 grand like 2 days later.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you hung on to it long enough, it'd be. So I know one of the boys, well, two of the boys at work have got a. We've got one in Nissan head office, a R32 GDR red one, and literally bolt by bolt he restored it. With genuine, like every time he'd go to Japan for a business trip, he would always, like the boys in Japan would go, "Come on, mate, we know somewhere." Oh, like they knew he was mad on them, and he would just go, "Oh, yep." They'd be like, "Yeah, we found somewhere where we can buy these parts," or "Oh, we found someone who's got a massive stock of these things. Come on, let's go and get you these parts." Or they'd go rummaging through the warehouse in Japan, finding the parts, and literally bolt by bolt, and it was mint condition. And like I see that thing, and I'm like, wow, that probably now probably worth 200 plus $1,000, because especially if you put it up for sale like in the US. Yeah, a lot of those Skylines now are worth a massive amount.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Well, they had the one there. They had the 34, and then I think old mate had that 33. I was like, how was he driving that in the first one?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Nissan did well out of that. Those movies, like and obviously, so did Chevy with the Impala, but so then those Japanese cars, man, drifting around.
Oh, they were just so cheap to import and that.
Yeah, that was until the government started closing all the
Yeah.
and slapping massive taxes on them. And yeah, like the government wised up pretty quickly. And a lot of it obviously had to do with trying to keep car manufacturing going here. But
Yep.
I think they were on the brink before the last election of like opening the floodgates, so to speak, and just going, oh yeah, if you don't sell that model in Australia, you can bring it in, and we won't charge you. Like there's no tariff on it. But I think car makers very quickly made it clear you do that in Australia with 65 car makers now, you will have none. You they would have said, hey, can we point you over to our mates in New Zealand, and that's what's going to happen. Because what happens is all of a sudden the manufacturer just goes, if they pull out of the market, they just go, oh, there's a recall. Not my problem. I haven't sold the car in your country. Not my issue. The only reason New Zealand owners get support, like sometimes like they'll have a recall on, I don't know, like an L Grand or something, and even in Australia is the same thing. The only reason they get support is because they still sell cars in the market. But if the Australian government had opened up the floodgates and allowed grey imports of non-Nissan stuff and flooded the market with cheap imports, they just would have pulled out and said, no, too hard. And then all of a sudden, all those owners are screwed because all those owners now are relying on used parts from dodgy people who know they can charge a premium, give you no warranty, no safety. Oh, there's a recall. Not my problem, mate. I'm not the car maker. I'm the car that sold you it, mate. I'm not the car maker. Go to the manufacturer. The manufacturer goes, I'm in Japan. Can't help you. Sorry, no speak the English. So, and I think people don't realise that there's a lot of money involved in being a car maker in Australia. We've got some of the strictest consumer laws in the world, mate, if not the strictest. And you can't, oh, well, I can buy that Infinity for overseas for half that price. Yeah, that's before you get taxed. That's before, yeah, because you're not a manufacturer. You don't have to pay stamp duty. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to pay import tariffs. You don't have to pay this. You don't have to pay that. You don't have to give. You don't get warranty with that. You don't get parts support with that.
Yep.
You don't get guaranteed part supply, and that was the thing. Like we used to get people like when Nissan was selling Infinity, going, "This is a Skyline." It's like, yeah, we know, but actually, if you take a look at what the spec of the car is, it's really good. I got the chance to drive a Q50 sports thing with a 3-liter twin turbo, which was like almost just shy of 300 kilowatts. That is the one car I would have happily have bought from Infinity. I'd actually seriously said to him, I really want to buy this.
Because what did they had the same motors as the 300ZX, the VG30 DET.
Yeah, but they
DTT, whatever.
Yeah, and they turbocharged them. Yeah, they had a turbo in them, and oh my, they were weapons. They were legit weapons. Like those things, mate. They may have fractured a speed, not as bad as the Monaro, but man, like that thing, like you planted it, mate. And Gabe was in the back seat with me, and he's like, "Daddy, this car's awesome. Can we buy it?" Like, don't think Mum's gonna let us do that, mate. Sorry, as much as I'd love to say yes. If you can convince Mum, of course we can.
Because they're only a 3-liter, but they're still a V6.
Oh, 3-liter V6 turbo.
Yep.
And they worked. Like you said, it was a 370Z engine, which is, I think, I think they were 245, 250. I think they got up to 275 kilowatts in the end. But then chuck a turbo on that. It was 298 kilowatts, I think.
Yep.
And they were great. And they were solid too. Not a lot could go wrong with them because they were really well built. But
I was driving through Dandenong on Sunday, and I saw this young learner driver, and she was driving I don't think it wasn't an XY, but it was pretty similar shape to the XY Falcon, and it had like a high rise on it, and it was camming off its tit at the lights. I'm like, geez, what a car to be able to learn in.
Well, sweetheart, if you can drive that, you can probably drive anything. You're right, because it'd be like high stall.
Yeah, it was. Like they just sent the lights out. Oh my god! I wish she wasn't driving it. I want to see the old mate drive it and see what they get how fast it gets.
Yeah.
Because So I pulled up behind the truck and like a car behind her. And I could hear it. Like I could hear this thing. So I pulled around just to see where it is. I saw the L plates on it. My mind was blown. I'm like, how is she able to drive that? And wife's like, she's allowed to want to learn. She can drive anything.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the crazy thing on learners in Australia. You can literally drive anything as long as you got a qualified driver next to you, like as far as a car. Like you can.
Yep. It's like that's your parents' car. That's your parents' car. Oh, that's crazy.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think it's crazy that's allowed.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, mate. Anyway, I think we'll end it at that. Enough car talk. We could talk all night about cars, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so.
We could even do it, mate. We could do a car streaming. Car stream, mate. I can promise you that much.
Yeah.
So,
go through all my old photos. All the old days I used to go to car meets and that all the time. And
yeah, mate. Yeah. Well, I know before the last one, my mate and I went to a car meet at the Bosch factory, and that's a freaking amazing cars there.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
So, anyway, everyone, thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Peace out. Catch you all next time.
Yep, and don't forget to jump on Twitter and share, like, tag a friend, and get your chance next week. We'll draw. Maybe we'll try and maybe come on Monday. And,
maybe you might try on Monday.
Try and draw that. Thanks, Bush, for watching, mate.
Thanks
really appreciate it, brother. Really do. Truly, mate. Take care, and we'll catch you guys